The internet is on fire, and fans can't stop talking about it. In a shocking turn of events, Drake was caught in a highly emotional and controversial moment involving Kendrick, his children, and a private incident that quickly went public. Clips and reactions have already flooded social media, with fans and critics alike questioning his intentions, his honesty, and his emotional display. What was supposed to be a private interaction turned into a viral spectacle, leaving people debating who is telling the truth, who is being manipulative, and why this moment has divided the entire hip-hop community. Sources say the tension began when Drake addressed Kendrick in a situation that seemed personal and vulnerable, but viewers online noticed inconsistencies. Some interpreted his tears as genuine remorse, while others claimed it was performative, designed to win sympathy and control the narrative. Fans flooded Twitter and Instagram, with hashtags trending that called him out for lying, crying, or trying to manipulate public perception. The backlash has been swift and ruthless, showing just how seriously fans take loyalty, authenticity, and credibility in the hip-hop world. In this video, we're breaking down exactly what happened, why people are so furious with Drake, and how this incident affects his reputation, Kendrick's image, and even the way the public views their entire dynamic. From leaked clips to viral social media reactions, every angle has been analyzed, and the reactions are intense. Because when a superstar like Drake is involved in controversy, it isn't just entertainment. It's a cultural moment, a conversation that can dominate headlines, social feeds, and debates for weeks. The moment started quietly, almost too quietly for what would soon become a viral sensation. Drake, known for his emotional transparency on and off the stage, was seen addressing Kendrick in what appeared to be a private, personal conversation. But the situation quickly spiraled into something much bigger, leaving fans shocked and divided. The footage that surfaced shows Drake speaking with intensity, at times visibly emotional, even tearing up. On the surface, it appeared to be a moment of vulnerability, but as viewers dissected the clips, questions began to emerge. Was this genuine emotion, or was Drake strategically performing to manipulate perception and control the narrative around him? The uncertainty surrounding his intent became the central talking point almost instantly. Fans and critics alike began analyzing the sequence frame by frame. Some noted that Drake's body language suggested sincerity, shaking hands, leaning in, and visibly emotional facial expressions. Others, however, pointed out subtle inconsistencies, gestures that seemed rehearsed, timing that appeared calculated, and expressions that didn't always match the words. Every detail was scrutinized, from the way he wiped his tears to the pauses in his speech, and soon, hashtags questioning Drake's honesty were trending on multiple social media platforms. For a superstar of his caliber, this was an unusually polarizing moment, with fans split between defending his apparent vulnerability and accusing him of deceit. Meanwhile, Kendrick's response, or lack thereof, added fuel to the fire. He remained composed, listening intently, but said little that could be interpreted as emotionally reactive. Fans watching online noted the stark contrast, one artist appearing raw and emotional, the other calm and measured. Social media instantly picked up on this dynamic, with debates raging about whether Drake's tears were manipulative, performative, or simply a genuine outpouring of emotion. Some fans argued that Drake's public display overshadowed the seriousness of the topic at hand, while others felt it exposed a deeper side of the superstar rarely seen in public. The involvement of Kendrick's children, or references to them during the conversation, made the situation even more complex. Any discussion touching family in public always adds another layer of scrutiny, and in this case, it intensified the backlash. People debated whether Drake had crossed a line by bringing sensitive topics into the public eye, and the outrage was immediate. Memes, reaction videos, and commentary flooded every platform, dissecting his behavior and questioning his intentions. It became a cultural moment, with some claiming that Drake's emotional display was a form of emotional manipulation, while others defended him, insisting that genuine vulnerability shouldn't be met with cynicism. This wasn't just another headline. It was a turning point in how fans viewed Drake's public persona. The incident sparked broader conversations about celebrity accountability, emotional authenticity, and the fine line between vulnerability and manipulation. In the hip-hop world, where credibility, loyalty, and authenticity are valued above all, the stakes are even higher. Every gesture, every word, and every expression is analyzed, and the reaction from fans and critics alike reflected that intensity. By the end of the day, the footage had gone viral, dominating feeds, trending on multiple platforms, and sparking debates that would last for weeks. Part 1 sets the stage for understanding why this moment became so controversial. Drake's apparent emotional vulnerability, juxtaposed with questions about honesty and intent, ignited a firestorm of fan debate, media analysis, and cultural commentary. This was no ordinary interaction. It was a moment that would define public perception, challenge assumptions about celebrity emotion, and frame the narrative for what came next in this dramatic saga. The backlash from Drake's controversial moment didn't take long to hit social media. Within minutes of the footage surfacing, fan accounts, influencers, and commentators began dissecting every frame, every gesture, and every word. Some fans immediately defended Drake, claiming his tears were genuine and reflective of a private struggle now thrust into the public eye. Others, however, accused him of over-dramatizing and intentionally performing for attention, suggesting that the timing and public exposure of the conversation were calculated. Clips of the interaction were shared across TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, with hashtags calling him out trending worldwide. Memes, reaction videos, and opinion threads flooded timelines, and the conversation quickly escalated from a single video into a full-blown cultural debate. As fans and analysts dug deeper, the situation became more complicated due to Kendrick's calm and measured demeanor. While Drake appeared emotional and visibly tearful, Kendrick maintained composure, rarely showing any outward sign of being affected by Drake's statements. The contrast between the two artists became a key talking point. Social media users debated endlessly. Was Kendrick silently judging Drake, or was he simply letting him express his emotions? Did Drake's display cross a line by putting Kendrick in an awkward position, or was it a genuine moment of vulnerability that fans should respect? These questions fueled hours of discussion and countless threads analyzing every detail of the footage. Leaked clips of the incident added even more fuel to the fire. One particularly viral snippet showed Drake referencing sensitive topics in relation to Kendrick's family, which fans immediately picked apart. Every gesture, pause, and facial expression was scrutinized, with commentators weighing in on whether Drake was showing authentic remorse or subtly trying to manipulate the narrative. Critics argued that bringing such personal topics into the public sphere, intentionally or not, risked appearing performative. Supporters, meanwhile, defended him, emphasizing that celebrities are human and allowed to show emotion, even in high-profile and public moments. The online conversation quickly became polarized, reflecting the broader debates about authenticity, accountability, and emotional expression in the hip-hop industry. As the discussion intensified, media outlets began publishing breakdowns and opinion pieces. Some journalists praised Drake's courage for openly showing vulnerability in a culture where stoicism is often expected. Others criticized the move as a miscalculation, pointing out that public displays of emotion, especially in a situation involving others' families, can lead to misinterpretation and backlash. Analysts highlighted how the mix of tears, pauses, and emotional phrasing could be interpreted in multiple ways, contributing to the viral nature of the moment. Every replay, screenshot, and clip amplified the discussion, ensuring that the story remained at the top of feeds and search trends for days. Fan reactions were equally intense. In forums and comment sections, the debate split sharply. Some saw Drake's tears as authentic and relatable, while others perceived them as performative and manipulative. Discussions about honesty, emotional expression, and celebrity accountability dominated the threads. People also speculated on the potential effects of the incident on Kendrick's reputation and relationships, wondering whether it would affect his public image or create tension between the artists. Some fans feared that the narrative could be used against Drake in future conflicts, while others believe it demonstrated a side of him rarely seen, offering insight into his personal struggles and emotions. Part 2 also explored the cultural significance of the moment. In hip-hop, credibility and authenticity are vital, and fans scrutinize every public action of artists. Drake's public tears, combined with questions about his honesty, challenged long-held assumptions about how vulnerability is received in the industry. At the same time, Kendrick's composed response reinforced his reputation for poise and professionalism, highlighting the contrast between the two artists and further fueling the discussion. Commentators noted that moments like these go beyond mere celebrity gossip. They influence how audiences perceive character, emotional intelligence, and integrity. By the end of this viral storm, it was clear that the incident was no longer just about a private conversation. It had become a public reckoning with Drake's persona, the perception of his honesty, and the broader expectations placed on high-profile artists. Fans and media alike would continue analyzing and debating the footage for weeks, making it one of the most talked-about moments in recent hip-hop history. Part 2 underscores how quickly private moments can become public spectacles, how perception can outweigh intention, and how social media amplifies controversy into a global conversation. The situation escalated quickly, turning into a viral firestorm that showed just how divided fans could be. After the initial backlash, discussions about Drake's actions expanded beyond social media clips and memes, reaching sports analysts, entertainment journalists, and even celebrity gossip platforms. The narrative shifted from a simple question of honesty to a deeper debate about emotional authenticity, manipulation, and the responsibilities of public figures. Fans began dissecting the intent behind every movement, pause, and tear, trying to determine whether Drake's emotional display was genuine or carefully curated for maximum public impact. In many ways, it became a social experiment in perception, showing how millions of people could interpret the same moment in entirely different ways. Meanwhile, Kendrick's subtle reactions became a focal point. Analysts and fans alike praised his composure, noting that while Drake was visibly emotional, Kendrick maintained a calm, controlled demeanor. This contrast only heightened scrutiny of Drake, as viewers compared the two approaches and debated which was more authentic. Some fans argued that Kendrick's stoicism suggested confidence and clarity, while Drake's tears suggested vulnerability, alternatively, a deliberate attempt to elicit sympathy. The discussion underscored the delicate balance celebrities must maintain between emotional openness and public perception, highlighting how one public display can generate scrutiny, praise, or backlash depending on the observer. As the conversation snowballed, more leaked clips emerged, offering additional context that fans eagerly analyzed. One snippet appeared to show Drake referencing Kendrick's children, which caused a wave of controversy online. Critics were quick to call out Drake, accusing him of crossing boundaries and using emotionally charged topics for attention. Supporters defended him, suggesting that he was simply expressing deep, personal feelings and that vulnerability should not be condemned. Memes, reaction videos, and breakdowns flooded platforms, making the story nearly impossible to ignore. Hashtags calling out Drake's perceived dishonesty, manipulation, or over-emotional display trended globally, turning a single private conversation into a massive viral event. Media outlets jumped on the story, providing detailed analyses and opinion pieces. Some highlighted the cultural significance of the controversy, noting that hip-hop fans value authenticity above all else and are quick to call out behavior that seems contrived or performative. Others examined the impact on Kendrick's image, wondering whether his composed demeanor might be perceived as dismissive or judgmental, even if it was simply self-controlled professionalism. Every aspect of the interaction was scrutinized: tone, word choice, gestures, facial expressions, and timing. Analysts broke down each frame, attempting to parse truth from performance, while fans debated fiercely about who was right and who was wrong. Public reaction extended beyond just opinions. It influenced social media trends, fan loyalty, and even commentary from other celebrities. Some high-profile figures chimed in, offering perspectives that either defended Drake's emotional expression or criticized it as manipulative. Meanwhile, fan accounts created compilations of proof supporting either side of the argument. Discussions were heated and polarized, reflecting broader cultural debates about honesty, vulnerability, and performativity in public life. The controversy demonstrated that in the modern digital age, even private emotional moments are rarely private for long. Part 3 also highlighted the emotional stakes of the situation. While the public was fixated on perception, the human side of the story was often overlooked. Drake's visible tears suggested a deep struggle or personal conflict, whether real or performed. Kendrick's composed response may have been a demonstration of self-control or a way to avoid escalation. The incident underscored the reality that celebrities' emotional expressions are rarely judged on their own merits. They are filtered through public opinion, media narratives, and social media algorithms. For millions of fans, a single moment became a defining storyline, illustrating how perception can dominate reality in the age of virality. By the end of Part 3, it was clear that this controversy was far from over. Combined with ongoing debates, memes, and media coverage, ensured that both Drake and Kendrick would remain in the spotlight for weeks. The incident raised questions about authenticity, accountability, and the complex relationship between celebrities and their audiences. It became a case study in how quickly private emotional moments can escalate into global controversies, and how public perception can often overshadow intent. For Drake, the episode cemented a polarizing moment in his career. For Kendrick, it highlighted the power of calm, controlled responses in contrast to emotional displays. By the time Part 4 unfolds, it was clear that Drake's emotional moment had morphed into a full-blown cultural phenomenon. Social media platforms were buzzing non-stop, with millions of fans dissecting, debating, and arguing about his intentions. Some users insisted that Drake's tears were genuine, a rare glimpse into his personal struggles that few people get to witness. Others were far more critical, claiming that the timing, delivery, and context of his emotional display suggested manipulation designed to elicit sympathy or control public perception. Across TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, clips of the incident went viral, each replay fueling new speculation and more passionate fan commentary. The narrative had transcended the original moment, evolving into a discussion about celebrity vulnerability, authenticity, and the boundaries of public exposure. The discussion surrounding Kendrick also intensified. Fans praised his composed and measured responses, interpreting them as a display of confidence and professionalism. By remaining calm, Kendrick drew a stark contrast with Drake's visibly emotional performance, and this contrast became central to the public debate. Commentators dissected Kendrick's body language, noting his subtle nods, facial expressions, and even the pauses in his replies. Many saw his calm as a sign of emotional intelligence and mastery over the narrative, suggesting that he had successfully avoided being drawn into a potentially manipulative scenario. Others speculated whether Kendrick was internally frustrated or disappointed, but chose to remain silent, highlighting how silence in high-profile moments can be as powerful as words or tears. Leaked clips continued to surface, adding more layers of interpretation. In one widely shared snippet, Drake appeared to reference Kendrick's family and children, which some fans viewed as crossing a line. Critics argued that invoking family in a public emotional display could be seen as manipulative, creating pressure and drawing undue attention to private matters. Supporters countered that it simply reflected a deep, personal moment of emotion, one that deserved empathy rather than criticism. Across forums, reaction videos, and live streams, fans debated endlessly whether Drake had overstepped boundaries or was simply expressing vulnerability in a way few celebrities dare to do. The viral nature of the footage ensured that the conversation would dominate trending topics for days. The cultural implications of the incident were significant. Hip-hop fans and social media users began examining the broader themes of authenticity, credibility, and emotional expression in public life. Drake, a superstar often admired for his openness, faced criticism for the same vulnerability that many had previously praised. The incident sparked discussions about double standards in celebrity culture, particularly regarding male vulnerability and how it is interpreted in highly publicized moments. Meanwhile, Kendrick's calm demeanor was celebrated, reinforcing narratives about emotional control, reputation management, and the subtle power of composure in high-stakes situations. Media outlets ran multiple analyses, interviews, and opinion pieces, further amplifying the moment and ensuring that it remained a central topic in hip-hop culture. Fan reactions continued to pour in, illustrating the polarized nature of the debate. Some saw Drake's display as heartfelt and relatable, demonstrating that even global superstars face emotional challenges. Others saw it as calculated and performative, interpreting his behavior as an attempt to sway public opinion or manipulate perception. Social media threads became battlegrounds, with supporters and critics engaging in lengthy arguments about authenticity, intent, and the consequences of public emotional expression. Hashtags calling Drake out or defending him alternated at the top of trending charts, showing how intensely fans were invested in the outcome of this controversy. Part 4 emphasizes that this was far more than a simple emotional display. It was a public reckoning, a viral moment that forced fans, critics, and media to evaluate not just Drake's honesty but the cultural expectations surrounding celebrity emotion. The discussion had become multi-layered, involving personal perception, cultural norms, and online amplification, highlighting how one moment can escalate far beyond its original context. For Drake, it was a polarizing moment with the potential to define public perception for months. For Kendrick, it was a reminder of how calm, controlled responses can command respect and redirect narrative. The incident demonstrated that in the age of social media, every gesture, tear, and pause can become a global talking point, shaping celebrity narratives and fan perception alike. As the controversy entered its 5th day, it became clear that Drake's emotional moment was no longer just a fleeting headline. It had become a defining narrative of his career and a viral event that captivated fans worldwide. The footage, which had initially appeared to be a private conversation, was now being analyzed by media outlets, celebrities, influencers, and millions of fans across every major social media platform. Replays, slow-motion breakdowns, and opinion videos dissected his tears, pauses, and gestures, while commentators debated the intent behind every action. Was Drake showing genuine emotion, or was he strategically performing to manipulate public perception? Fans were divided, and hashtags alternated between defending him and calling him out, showing just how polarizing the moment had become. The role of Kendrick in this drama remained central. Throughout the viral footage, Kendrick's calm and collected demeanor contrasted sharply with Drake's visible emotional display. Analysts highlighted this dynamic, noting how Kendrick's subtle expressions, body language, and choice to remain composed amplified the perception that Drake's tears might be performative. Fans speculated endlessly about what Kendrick might be thinking. Was he silently judging Drake, protecting himself from public manipulation, or simply demonstrating poise under pressure? Every reaction from Kendrick, no matter how small, became fodder for discussion, emphasizing how high-profile interactions between celebrities are magnified in ways ordinary conversations never are. Social media played an enormous role in amplifying the story. Reaction videos, memes, and viral clips exploded across TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Each new clip brought more analysis,